So this, like Guru Gobind Singh, he envisaged, so I'm a Nahang, I'm Burdal, and I will unashamedly tell you right away, I am on the same mission as what Guru Gobind Singh set us. Same mission. Guru Gobind Singh's mission was to create a Shanamir Kaur Khalsa like. But the word Khalsa here means like people of pure souls who are like Ram with Devi Gun and so on. It doesn't mean people dressed like me or whatever. So the Panchadev, no one in the Sanatan world is going to object. If someone is now a devotee of Shiv, he's not going to object to Vishnu. Because in our Sanatan tradition, Vishnu's guru is Shiva, Shiva's guru is Vishnu. Okay? And then, if the Adi Shakti is there, no one's going to object to the Adi Shakti. She's the mother of all, like. And Vishnu and Shiva, Ram and Krishna Maharaj, they are Vishnu. They're the same as well. So, whatever your belief systems are, like, in your Sanatan world, whatever your personal devas are, that's fine, like. And the aim of Guru Gobind Singh was, he brought in the Vaishnav tradition, the Shakti tradition, and the Shiva tradition, brought them all together and told them, look, get united, like. Because until you are united, you're going to be weak. You're going to be ekajut and so on. So even the Nahang dress, if you look at the dress here, so the arrow is a symbol of Ram. These fangs here, these are Vasuki. Then there's a Tarsul there. The turban is the Ganges. Nila Bani, Kalima, and also Vishnu. And of course, the Shastra, linked with particular gods and goddesses and so on. The Kada is of Shiv. And so the idea of bringing everybody together to making a strong Sanatan. So in terms of Guru Gobind Singh, they didn't think in terms of nation. They thought in terms of Sanatan culture, like. So wherever you found, if I walked so far, and then there was a temple of, say, of the Pandus, I went so far, and there's a temple of, say, Devi. And wherever there are temples, that marked the land of the Sanatan world, like, that the Sanatan influence is there, like. So uniting that world together, so it's called Sagal Hinte Turk Badarung, that the oppressors get rid of them, Sagal Hind, all Hind together. That is the idea. Shastar Vidiya, if you study Shastar Vidiya, these young men have been studying now. On one hand, exposed to the culture, the history, the traditions, and the exposure is done in a super intelligent way. So even if I get students I get Arabs from Egypt, I get Africans, I get Chinese, I get Japanese, and so on. And before them, like anybody, like, we can't be ashamed of our culture, our history, our traditions, and so on. And so no matter what their culture, what their history, tradition, we respect that. But they also have to respect our culture, our history, our traditions as well. We're not against theirs, and there's no reason why they should be against ours, like. So when the root of all dharma is compassion, they shouldn't be there, like. So in that sense, this also bridges people across what's called cultures and histories and traditions and so on. So whereas someone like in Europe and so on, they may just want the fighting techniques, and they get exposed to Indian culture, history. So that sense is soft power around the world. So those people are thinking, oh, Indians are just nerds. Now they're thinking, hang on a minute, they're not just nerds. I mean, I heard people say that Indians are nerds, and even their martial art, the Kshatriyas, is nerdy as well, because it's intelligent. It's not just stupid. So that's a compliment in that sense of the word. And so we're exposing the rest of the world to our culture. So if you look at now China and Japan, and look at Japan with the samurai, everybody knows about samurai. Chinese with the kung fu and so on. The image that comes across with that, and then with India is Kshatriya. And the sad thing is, like, a lot of the older Chinese and Japanese, they trace their martial arts back to India. That's it. So the Kshatriyas, so this is there, but our martial arts are not known, traditions are not known, because a lot of our martial arts in this country. So this Kshatriya tradition of ours is what's lacking in Bharat now, really. So, like I said, with Birju Maharaj and all that, they revived all the Kathak dancing, others have revived Bharatiya Natam. Gurukuls are now appearing as well. Like, one time, Gurukuls had Shastar Vidiya inside them as well, like taught.
It is a part of it.
Yeah, part of it. Like, and I mean, Guru Gobind Singh gives a beautiful description in his Gyan Prabodh, where he talks about an ancient Gurukul. And he talks about they're learning linguistics, they're learning what you call music, they're learning Vedantic science, and they're learning all forms of martial arts, tradition, Kshatriyas, and so on. So it's a complete system they're learning. But it's all framed within dharmic understanding, because they're producing people of moral character. Like, they don't want to produce a bunch of assholes, like. And with Kshatriya, because we're teaching you lethal skills. Okay, so obviously with little children, we teach kids, like small children, 5 to 7, the skills that are taught them are those skills that will prevent them from being bullied at school. So we teach them nothing offensive, because we don't want we don't want children hurting children. When it comes to teenagers, we teach them offensive techniques, but nothing lethal, for obvious reasons. We don't want them in prison. But and then when it comes to males, when it comes to adults, then for males and females, techniques are taught which will cover self-defense that you can practically use now, and then also the classical stuff, which even the classical techniques of moving in a stabilized manner and fighting, which can be utilized for modern day firearms with the army and the military, I still teach today. So even soldiers and modern day army and the police can take advantage of this as well. So the art is super sophisticated. If you just go onto the testimonials on the app, it's not point me blowing my own trumpet, like, you can hear from actual people who have experienced this art and who are martial arts experts and so on. We have a beautiful, powerful culture, like Sanatan culture, and if you were to go into the depths of it, it's rich beyond measure and so on. And Sanatan Vidya, Kshatriya Vidya, as I say, is a Upaved, is a knowledgeable Upaved. We have the 4 Veds, the Rig Ved and so on, Yajurved, Samved, which are the anchor, the cornerstone of our spiritual traditions and so on. Viddham and Namuttam says Gurbani as well. Like, so then we have 4 Upaveds, which are the cornerstone of our, what you call culture, like how to build our cities, music, our dancing, everything else, and then Kshatriya as well. Kshatriya should not be just viewed as something that teaches you how to wield a sword or knife, unarmed combat, how to shoot guns, all this and so on. It's more than that. Kshatriya will make you into what we will, Nahangs, we say, Lo Purush. The word Lo means iron, it means steel, it also means light, it also means enlightened. So you become an enlightened warrior, a Kshatriya. You become what we term as a Sajjan Sura. Sajjan Sura, a noble warrior. That's what it's meant to be there. And is the stride called Dubda Mare So Sura. He who kills his sense of duality is the warrior. Like, so Kshatriya is all about annihilating duality, because we're at the vet. And even in the physical expression of the art, that's what we're trying to do. Every movement comes from a neutral state, and then one. And then the one becomes the infinite, and so on. Just like in Vedanta, from the Shunya, the void, one, and then so on. Mahashunte Utpadameri, says Guru Gobind Singh, I have emerged from the great Shunya. And the Vidya emerges from the great Shunya as well. So in that sense, you are present when young men or young women, and not even young, old, because the Vidya is not muscle-based, it's not athletic-based. Your fast twitch muscles that sprinters and boxers and others use, they fade away by the age of 25. They start going less. Your slow twitch muscles, which marathon runners and say rowers use, they do about 45. They're going. We bypass. Our Rishi Munis understood how to bypass both fast twitch and slow twitch. As a consequence, my speed is not going to be compromised because I'm not moving with those fast twitch muscles. My stamina is not going to be compromised because I'm not using those slow twitch muscles, and I can carry on to a very good old age. And if you look at in our traditions, Bhushan, Dronachar, Baba Deep Singh, Natha Singh in the Sikh tradition, they were elderly warriors. Baba Ram Singh Bedi, 90-year-old, he's still able to fight. So this Vidya offers, in terms of health, in terms of connecting with culture, history, philosophy, and in terms of pride, the pride that young people feel that in their culture, history, and it's not a false pride, not an egoistical pride, in the sense that we're superior to them and this, because that's all Ravan Vidya again. No. Ram is humble, is humility like. So as a consequence, Ram Vidya, as we're talking about, is a powerful Vidya. that is imbued with all that is, I can say, beautiful and worthy in Indian culture and so on. So when people come and study with me, we look at them. I mean, if they just want to be fighters, I'm not really that much interested in them. If they want to be just what's called a bit of health and all, that's fine, but all right. But at the end of the day, this is almost like a blood transfusion. The Kshatriya element that for so long was banned by the British when they came in, and then with the independence, the emphasis became on non-violence and so on. Hence, China invaded and took the land.
We lost our protectors.
Yeah, lost our
Kshatriyas were the
practice. The Kshatriyas, like, and the Kshatriyas for a long time were misunderstood. I mean, if I remember correctly, like, and I mean, some people say it's not his quote, but they say Gandhi said he spoke of Pullar Deshbhakt, Pulle hue, misguided, that's called Bhakts of the nation. And this, and thus were described people like Guru Gobind Singh, Rana Pratap, Shivaji Marathe, and so on. They were not pulled. They were on the correct path, like, and so on. To live a life of pure freedom and happiness, you need to have strength. Okay, you need to have what's called bahubal. Ko kisko raj na de hai, jo le hai nij bal se le hai. That's Guru Gobind Singh said that. No one's going to give you a kingdom, and no one, you got to with your own power, like. So on dharm bin sab chale ko, it's called raj bin dharma na chale hai, dharm bin sab chale male hai. Ko kisko raj na de hai, jo le hai nij bal se le hai. So Guru Gobind Singh spoke of this all those centuries ago, that dharm bin raj na chale hai, that you need dharma in order for a kingdom to flourish. There needs to be morals and ethics and principles of justice and compassion and so on. We need dharma. And so Guru Raj ne spoke of Hilmi Raj. Koi peh na kisi rajan da, ye hua Hilmi Raj. When no one fears no one, and people live in a compassionate, intelligent kingdom. But in order to have that kind of kingdom, dharma bin raj dale, to have the Raj, ko kisko, now one's going to give you a kingdom, like. Oh, you got to get with Nij Bal. So you got to take it with Nij Bal, which we did by driving the British and so on out. So with Nij Bal now, we need to hold on to it as well. Like. So look at all the forces around the world who are trying to dismantle this nation and so on. And as India climbs up,
The forces will try even more.
they're going to try more and more. And the best way they can do this is by creating splits within your own ranks and so on. Because there are always people who can be bought and sold, and there's always people who are stupid, who don't understand the bigger game, what the enemies are trying to do. So this is happening. It's like the Khalstanis in the Sikh world, like, and their numbers are very small, but they're very boisterous. They intimidate anybody else, but they are completely on the wrong path. Guru Gobind Singh at no point spoke about Punjab, he spoke about Madhya Pradesh. At no point Guru Gobind Singh spoke about he spoke about Sagal Hind in all his writings and so on. So, and his Panj Pyare came from all over India, so that means he had appeal for all of India. And this is the whole idea, like and then clearly he states in Sablu Granth, Sanatan ta meri prabh safal, like make my Sanatan Dharma successful, like.